I tell you what, we're gonna have some laughs here tonight. We've got Christian comedian Bob Smiley with us. Bob, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to hear all your jokes. Like you said, you're bringing the laughs. This is awesome. I don't have to work. I can just sit back and watch you do it all. Go ahead.
Oh no, 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 no. I don't have no jokes. That's all you, buddy. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm happy to be back on the road and traveling and not getting, sound feedback from my microphone.
Man, see, I knew bringing you on the show would be a mixed blessing. By the way, when I speak mixed blessing, I hear you got a great definition of that. Share it with us.
Yeah, my kid was doing his homework one day. We were in the kitchen and he said he needed a definition of a mixed blessing, and the only thing I could think of was getting a kidney transplant from a bedwetter. So I told him that, and he wrote it down. I didn't know he was actually writing it down, and so yeah, I think he got a D, and I got a T-shirt out of it. So it worked out. It totally worked out.
So, man, the uproar today on social media has been all about this Will Smith, Chris Rock smackdown. What you got to say about that?
I haven't heard it because my neighbor's Wi-Fi is terrible, so it's really hard to get online. But no, here's what's weird. My wife and I, we were going to actually watch the Oscars because we like to be in a small group of people. So I was like, what's smaller than people that actually watch the Oscars nowadays? And so we tried to get it on, but we don't have cable or any kind of TV, except for the internet. And so we could not find a way to watch it. And I was like, they're sitting there begging people to watch it, yet unless you subscribe to, I think it was ABC, you couldn't watch it. So I was like, I actually said this out loud. I was like, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's not like anything big's going to happen. And then as I was going to bed last night after reading my Bible, I'm saying that in case my mom's watching. Yeah, I was reading James. I love the Old Testament. So I looked on Twitter, like it was 2012, back when Twitter was important. And everything I saw was all about this video. And I was like, did I miss something? And I could not believe it. And then I couldn't sleep because all I could think of was like all these jokes and stuff, were just like popping in my head and all that. So it was insane, man. My whole message today, because I do a Smiley Minute, which is like a 1 minute look at the news. And my whole thing was just do not punch comedians. Let's don't start that trend, man. That's just not. I mean, I was fine with the ice bucket challenge. I was fine with the, cinnamon challenge, like all those little deals. But man, going up and just popping a comedian because you didn't like something he said, that it's just, I don't know. And I mean, I love my wife. And if anybody talks smack about my wife, I'm going to do if I was in Hollywood, I would do the proper thing. I would tell my publicist, he would tell the lawyers would get in contact with, Chris Rock. Like there's a whole way to do it, but to walk up and just physically assault somebody on TV. And then the biggest thing was Hollywood's known as being like very self-centered, and the whole award ceremony is a look at me. It's an award given by themselves to themselves, and they're complaining that we're not watching. And then this guy goes up and slaps somebody in the face, which I don't know if you've kept up with the internet lately, but bullying is kind of a hot topic right now. And like hurting people and physical violence and all this stuff is like a big topic that everybody is saying. I don't think anybody agrees that it's okay. And he goes up and he pops this dude in the face, sits down, waits a bit, and then they give him an Oscar and a standing ovation. I was like, what more? Like, we don't even need to comment anymore because they showed their full hand. They showed who they truly are.
I seen just a few minutes ago, due to that fight, Twitter has now suspended Will Smith's account.
Oh, really? Because that's something that I didn't have time to do today because I was feeding the orphans. Hey, Mom. So I didn't get to go, and I didn't get to look at Chris Rock's social media or Will Smith's to see if either one of them had posted anything. But Twitter, if they're going to stand by their word, they've got to suspend him because they're suspending people for just saying mean things. But to go up and slap somebody in the face, like, I don't know, man. It was, and there were so many. I mean, I'm mostly friends with comedians, and so our phones we're all in little text threads and stuff. And man, our phones were just blowing up. Like it was just insane.
So where did comedy actually start for you?
So I grew up in a very, very small town. I grew up in north of Dallas, Texas, and my dad is the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life. Like I'm surprised Will Smith hadn't slapped him yet. Like he is incredibly funny. And so I just grew up around a guy who was just always very quick-witted, very funny. And I could watch how he could walk into a room and he could make people feel better about themselves just by a couple little jokes and stuff like that. And so I really just always liked it and thought that that was a cool thing. And I remember, so this is a dumb story, but I was in second grade and we were having a math class and I was sitting in the back where the teachers asked me to stay. And I remember this kid got up on got called to the board and it was 5 birthday candles plus 3 birthday candles. How many birthday candles does it equal? And this kid whose name was Lloyd, I can't believe, like, I can't even remember your name and it's written right below you. But I remember this dude's name and he went up and he could not figure it out. And so the teacher goes, does anybody want to help him? And I was sitting in the back and I raised my hand and she called on me. When I got up, walking up there, I'd already thought of my set list. Like I'd already thought of the joke I was going to tell. And so, and I'm telling you, this is stupid, but this was, I got up there and I go, there's 5 birthday candles and you add 3. So that's 8 birthday candles. Come on, Lloyd. It's a piece of cake. That was my joke in second grade. And here's why I tell you that. Nobody laughed. Nobody laughed. Nobody bought anything from my merch table. It was not a good show. But after the end of that day, I got up and I was walking out and Miss Brown, my teacher, she goes, hey, Bobby, come here. And so I walked over and she was like, man, I was having a really bad morning and I was thinking of that birthday candle joke all day. And I just want you to know it just brightened my day. And so even in second grade, walking out of that room, I had the thought of, wow, comedy is powerful. Like it has the ability to change people's outlook. And so even though I didn't want to, like, I never wanted to do stand-up. I never thought I could do stand-up. I loved comedians and I loved comedy, but I just never thought it would be something I could do. But at that moment, I decided in my little second grade mind, no matter what I do, I'm going to try to use comedy in whatever job I end up in, because I just think it makes people, happier. So it kind of started all of that. And then my dad was my superintendent. So my dad would come eat lunch with me every day and everybody wanted to sit at our table because we were the funny table. And so I realized like, oh, comedy kind of makes you cool too. So yeah, I've always loved it. I think it's a powerful tool that God's given us.
What is your favorite comedy act to share right now?
You mean as far as bits on stage?
Yeah.
I've got 2. I got one about my wife and I going to Walmart right before the quarantine. And there's a whole like funny, it's a long comedy bit. But I like that just because my whole message is that even in dark times, like the pandemic and all that kind of stuff, there's still some joy to be found. And I think a lot of people need to hear that because I think a lot of people are dealing with depression or dealing with, loss of loved ones or something like that. I think they need to be reminded that in that dark times, there's still some joy to be found. And I think a lot of times that dark cloud will consume you to where you just think that there is no more joy to be found. And so I like that story because it's a funny story, but it also has a message. And then I have a story that I just started doing 2 weeks ago on stage about me getting a rental car. And this elderly couple is the other couple that's trying to get a rental car. And we kind of get in a fight over a Dodge Challenger. So those are the 2. So if you want to come to my shows, pretty sure to hear those.
Wow. So, you have a funny side to you, but I hear that you also have a serious side to you when it comes to sharing the truth of the gospel. In which ways do you hope that your comedy really reaches folks with the gospel?
Well, here's the deal. Everybody is a preacher. Like, not everybody. Every comic is a preacher. When they get on stage, they're preaching about something. Chris Rock is a great example about that. He actually, his style is like a preacher. So he gets up and he is passionate about something and he says it over and over, and he's got jokes, you know, to back it up, to make it funny, but he's making a message. So almost every comedian, there's just I can't really even think of a comedian that gets up and just tells jokes, but it's not really trying to get a point across. Maybe Stephen Wright and the late Mitch Hedberg, because they did a lot of one-liner stuff, but everybody else, that you write about what you're passionate about. So I love doing stand-up. I love writing all these things. But when you get on stage, you want to talk about what you're passionate about. Well, I'm passionate about spreading the gospel and trying to encourage people and, you know, bring them a little bit of joy. And sometimes it's just through giving them some laughs and stuff. But if I can spread the gospel, or if I can give them some hope, I let them know that they're, you know, actually created with a purpose in life, and that the creator of all of this, I don't know that he made Batman, but, you know, the creator of pretty much everything, is like actually took time to create you. So that kind of makes you special. If I can give that hope to somebody, I just think it makes the world a better place.
Well, brother, he must have made Batman too, you know. God's a superhero too, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And actually God has superpowers, unlike Batman, but Batman's my favorite. So yeah, I don't know why I bagged on Batman. It's just behind me. I just realized I have stuff behind me.
Wow. So, you know, maybe somebody's depressed today that's watching, or maybe they just need a little bit of hope. Share some jokes with us. Get some folks laughing here.
Yeah, I've actually talked to a lot of people that have watched your show that they say they're now depressed. So,
listen at you.
yeah, I don't even know you, man. I shouldn't like, don't reach out and slap me, dude. Like, we're all going to be on edge, because already dealing with hecklers is bad. But man, just to have an example that you can just walk up and slap somebody and then be handed an award is just insane. So yeah, I don't know what the future is going to look like. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah. So tell folks how they can find out more about Bob Smiley.
They can do what nobody does. They can go to my website, bobsmiley.com, which should be your homepage, right, Andrew?
Not mine, yours.
No, I'm saying that should be your homepage, right? When you open up your computer, it goes to bobsmiley.com, right?
Sure.
Okay, you know where liars go, right? You want to end up in Congress? Yeah, they can go to bobsmiley.com, but I'm all over social media. I've got Instagram, Bob Smiley Comic, Facebook, Bob Smiley Comedy. If you're a sinner, I'm on TikTok, so you can check that out. Yeah, I'm kind of all over.
Oh my. Man, I have enjoyed sharing the laughs with you. Thanks so much for coming on. You're welcome back anytime you like.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. You have a great night.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.